A weekend in early summer, a birthday party. My girlfriend of 7 years lost a game and shared a mouth-to-mouth passing of a drink as a game dare with her ex-boyfriend. Her ex-boyfriend asked tenderly, if Ethan wasn't here, could we get back together? She responded shyly, yes. Everyone stared at me in shock. But I didn't care at all. I even led the applause. Respect, blessings, hope you two are locked in forever, sarcastic. A weekend in early summer, a birthday party. My girlfriend invited a bunch of friends to gather at our place. I was in the kitchen making the last dish, spicy crawfish boil, when a cheer erupted from the living room. I looked out and saw my girlfriend, Isabella, and her ex-boyfriend, Jake, had lost a game and had to take a dare. No one urged them on. Jake took a sip of a drink and leaned in, kissing Isabella's lips to pass it. It lasted a full 10 seconds before they broke apart. Isabella looked shy, her lips luscious and slightly swollen. Everyone was looking at me, with mockery, pity, schadenfreude, a mix of everything. Isabella's hand was still on Jake's waist, and she was looking at me too, not with guilt or panic, but with provocation. Jake smiled at me, we lost a game, don't get mad. I wanted to ask what kind of game had such poor boundaries, kissing someone else's girlfriend to pass a drink, but I just thought it internally. Surprisingly, there wasn't a trace of anger, but rather a sense of relief and ease. I poured a bottle of beer into the spicy crawfish boil and smiled back, I'm not mad. But Isabella thought I was angry, and she glared at me, Ethan, don't be randomly being jealous. Jake and I are just friends. I nodded, saying nothing, and continued to busy myself with the crawfish, motioning for everyone to keep playing. Seeing that the person directly involved wasn't questioning it, no one mentioned the incident again. Soon, Isabella lost again. She chose truth or dare. Jake quickly took the right to asking tend. Early, if Ethan wasn't here, could we get back together? Even Isabella looked stunned. It was clear she hadn't expected this. But she quickly composed herself, her face slightly flushed with shyness. In the silence, she nodded, yes. All eyes turned to me again. So I put down the beer I was holding and led the applause. It's better to demolish 10 temples than break up one marriage. Don't mind me. Respect, blessings, hope you two are locked in forever, sarcastic. But everyone thought I was truly furious this time, and their gaze was full of disdain. Isabella frowned and said with dissatisfaction, Ethan, how many times have I told you, this is a game, a game. Don't you get it? Taking everything seriously is so boring. She added, you should go back to cooking. You're so narrow-minded and easily being jealous, you make us uncomfortable. Jake, looking pleased, provocatively picked up a crawfish I'd served, peeled it, and put it in Isabella's bowl. Ethan, you go on. I'll take care of Isabella. It was my birthday party, I was working myself to death cooking inside, and my girlfriend was outside kissing and flirting with another man, while the guests ate grease-soaked food and enjoyed the spectacle. Thinking about it, I felt pathetic and ridiculous. Yet everyone seemed to think I should just stay inside and quietly cook, serving them, and shouldn't have come out. In the past, I would have flipped the table, yelled at everyone. Then, things would have ended badly. Afterwards, Isabella would say I was narrow-minded and not a generous man. She would be very disappointed in me because my behavior ruined the mood and showed a lack of trust in her. Then, she would trash the place, giving me the silent treatment, and would even deliberately meet Jake every day and make sure I knew about it. Until I begged for her forgiveness like a desperate doormat, only then would she condescendingly question me, forcing me to admit I was a possessive psycho and should listen to her. About everything from then on, trusting her unconditionally. I was severely brainwashed. In situations like today's, I would automatically question myself, wondering if I was overthinking. But I knew with certainty, it wasn't my fault. Maybe our relationship was unequal from the start. At university, she was a rare school beauty, a golden girl, while I was just a bookworm. Countless people sent her flowers and showered her with affection, trying different ways to confess their feelings. Even many rich kids from outside the university would drive flashy cars and queue up at the school gates to win her favor, but no matter how much money they threw at her, Isabella refused. She said love was pure and beautiful and shouldn't be mixed with any foul material things. And I was just a bookworm. Since I was weak and from a single-parent family when I was little, I was bullied and beaten by other boys, so I always kept to myself and didn't fit in. My personality was withdrawn, and I was even less popular at university. My roommates and classmates ostracized and targeted me, even bullied me. During that time, I was a bit depressed and often went to the rooftop to sit, countless times thinking about jumping off. It was her who sat beside me, brought me cake, listened to music with me, and listened to me talk about the struggles in my life. She said, "People are independent beings and shouldn't be bound by the eyes of others. Ethan, if you're withdrawn, just be withdrawn. Are you interested in walking a path with me that no one else dares to walk?" At that moment, the breeze lifted the scattered hair beside her ear, and on an impulse, I reached out my hand and held hers tightly. In countless dreams since then, I felt like I had held on to a goddess. Later, we really got together. No one thought it would last. They envied and were jealous of me, saying she was too good for me. And her admirers didn't even see me as a threat, thinking I was just someone Isabella was using to pass. The time when she was bored. I was very constantly anxious/insecure, afraid Isabella would be snatched away by someone else, or that she would leave me. So I did my best to be good to her, like a devout follower, dedicating everything in my life to her. I would share everything with her, but later she would just respond indifferently, or even couldn't be bothered to reply. But I didn't give up. I gladly accepted everything for her and couldn't even imagine how I would live without her. I got used to being humble, and she got used to being haughty/condescending. "Ethan, are you mute?" Isabella suddenly snapped at me when she saw I hadn't spoken or moved for a while. Even now, she still thought she wasn't wrong. I looked at her indifferently, walked to the dining table, and sat down to eat. "If you feel like I'm ruining the mood by being home, you can go out to eat." "Who are you giving that attitude to?" she asked, frowning, still thinking it was my fault. "If you don't want to leave, you can stay, whatever." I had been busy all afternoon and was starving, so I ate heartily. To save time, I also opened my laptop to catch up on the work I'd missed from taking the afternoon off. Isabella, truly angered, grabbed her bag and walked out the door. Jake followed her. The moment the door closed, everyone's eyes gathered on me again. They were looking with contempt, mockery, and schadenfreude. It was too obvious. "Want me to have a meltdown right now, just to satisfy your expectations?" I looked at them with a cold smile and continued to work. Soon, Isabella came back, followed by Jake, who was carrying a bag of strong drink. Isabella looked at me reluctantly. "Today is my boyfriend's birthday. Let's all get drunk and have some fun. Let's play something more exciting." Jake looked at me provocatively. "Ethan, there might be more intimate contact than just kissing later. You're not going to stop us, are you?" I looked up slightly from my work. "Oh, then I'll tidy up the room later, and you can do it in there." I could clearly feel that Jake really wanted to steal Isabella away from me. So he was constantly trying to provoke me, and after I got angry, he would act innocent and tell Isabella that I was misinterpreting him and bullying him. And he would succeed every time. Isabella would yell at me for being jealous and overly possessive. I suddenly felt how stupid I was back then. The work on my laptop was far more interesting than these vulgar relationships. Jake hadn't gotten the reaction he wanted, so of course, he wouldn't let me off easily. He said sarcastically, "Your thoughts are as dirty as ever. Isabella and I are pure and innocent. Why do you always overthink things? You're as pure as a straight guy who needs to watch videos before going to bed." I just retorted impulsively. It wasn't because I was being jealous of Jake, but because I wanted to be kinder to myself and stop letting people bully me without a word. Isabella seized on my laps and thought I was being jealous. She sighed, looking exasperated. "Ethan, how many times do I have to tell you? Jake and I broke up many years ago. Get rid of your dirty thoughts." I didn't want to argue with her. I just kept eating, letting her say whatever she wanted. Isabella seemed unaccustomed to my silence. She glanced at me, then angrily accused, "You're so busy, why are you even celebrating your birthday?" "Okay, whatever you say." I stood up, took my laptop, and walked towards the study. "The food is all made, it's a waste not to eat it. Just treat this like a normal gathering with classmates." I said a few considerate words. Isabella was finally enraged by my indifferent attitude and shouted at me, "Ethan, what is wrong with you? Are you done or not? Isn't this supposed to be a regular gathering with classmates? I'm not even in the same major as you guys." It was my birthday today, but all the guests were Isabella's close friends and girlfriends. I had allowed this, had no opinion, just like in previous years. But I genuinely had nothing to talk about with them, so I might as well work. I stood at the study door, my emotions stable. I thought, based on her understanding of me, she should be able to see that I wasn't actually angry or upset right now. Maybe I was mistaken. I suddenly saw a flicker of panic in Isabella's eyes, but it vanished instantly, impossible to grasp. "Fine, I'll let you stay and play now." Isabella pointed to an empty seat next to her. I sat down, sandwiching Isabella between me and Jake. Her friend Chloe came out of the bathroom and looked at me, hesitant to speak. "That's my seat." I quickly stood up, but Isabella grabbed my wrist. Usually, only Jake and Chloe would sit next to her. There was always someone between me and her. But now she was holding my wrist, not letting me go. This was the first time this had ever happened. Isabella realized something and quickly let go of my hand, telling me, "Switch seats with Chloe." I didn't say anything and sat down with Chloe between us. Then we started drinking and playing games. Jake deliberately lost a game and chose truth or dare. The friends around us went along with it and told Jake and Isabella to press close together for 30 seconds. Their chests were touching, their noses almost touching, they were practically melded together. Jake gave me a provocative smirk. Isabella only lasted 10 seconds and took the penalty drink. This was like being cheated on right in front of my face. Any other man would have punched Jake by now. But I didn't make a move, and I even kept my expression perfectly neutral. Was I not a man? Of course I was. I just didn't love Isabella anymore. But my lack of anger was also unacceptable, and Isabella's group of girlfriends attacked me. Chloe was the most typical, yelling the loudest, "Ethan, how many times have I told you, Isabella and Jake are just good friends. It's perfectly normal for friends to kiss and hug. I don't know what you're being jealous about. We really feel sorry for Isabella. You're so controlling, she has no freedom in life. Honestly, if it were me, I couldn't stand it and would have broken up with you already." Chloe started to poo me. It was always like this. Whether I was being jealous or not, as long as I was standing near Isabella, they would criticize me and take turns lecturing me. "Chloe, then are we friends?" Chloe paused, then said, "Of course we are. Isabella and I are close as sisters," describing friends. "You're her boyfriend. I think of you like a brother-in-law." Isabella looked at Chloe with gratitude. The air faintly exuded the feeling of close as sisters, describing friends. I sneered internally. Suddenly, I leaned close to Chloe. In her surprised gasp, I pushed her down beneath me, my body pressing against hers, and kissed her. Jake and Isabella had only touched for 10 seconds, but I kissed Chloe for over 30 seconds, leaving her almost breathless. Chloe's face was bright red, and she pushed me away. At that moment, everyone was stunned. They had never imagined that I, who was absolutely devoted to Isabella, would do something crazy like kissing someone else in front of everyone. One person was the first to yell at me, "Ethan, what you did is cheating. How can you do this to Isabella?" Oh, so kissing and hugging other people is considered cheating? I thought they didn't know that. "Ethan, are you crazy?" Chloe looked at me in disbelief. I gave her a friendly smile. "Aren't we friends? Why are you so worried? We're pure and innocent. Isabella won't be angry, right?" I turned to look at Isabella. Slap. I was slapped across the face. Isabella's face was pale, her hand trembling, looking somewhat on the verge of breaking down. I raised my hand and pressed the spot where she hit me. It hurt a lot. But there was no anger in my eyes, only a calm look as I watched Isabella. Was what I did wrong? Isabella pointed at me, then at Chloe, and asked Thrug. Clenched teeth. "What are you doing?" "Just playing a game, don't take it seriously, or it'll be too boring." I used Isabella's own words to retort. "Ethan, are you trying to get revenge on me?" You kissed Chloe just to spite me. How could you do that to me? She was furious, as if I had committed an unforgivable sin. But I had just done exactly what she did. I was speechless. But didn't you say playing games means you have to be open-minded, otherwise it's stiff and boring? Chloe also said it's perfectly normal for friends to kiss and hug. I was just listening to you guys. Why are you hitting me? Ethan, do you have zero reading comprehension? Isabella and Jake didn't do it on purpose, it was just fate from the game. But you did that on purpose. Exactly. I used to think you were just randomly being jealous, but I never expected you to be so vindictive and petty. You're a turn-off guy, you really don't deserve Isabella. Her group of girlfriends started talking nonsense again, directing their judging others / taking the moral high ground at me. I looked at them, everyone, you shouldn't have a double standard. Otherwise, it's just not right / fair, rephrased meaning. They shut up. People who wrong you know better than anyone how wronged you are. Isabella wanted to accuse me, but she couldn't say anything. She just focused tearfully on what had just happened. Ethan, I thought you loved me the most, but I never expected you to do something like this. I'm so disappointed in you. After saying that, she pulled Jake and walked towards the door. I stood up, wanting to pour myself a glass of water. But Isabella thought I was coming to apologize. Ethan, nothing you say matters. I won't forgive you. I picked up the teapot and poured water into a cup, utterly bewildered. Huh? Isabella realized she had misunderstood and was enraged. I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going out to a hotel with Jake, she told me. I nodded. Get a good hotel. Your skin is sensitive. My reaction, panic resurfaced in Isabella's eyes, not just a fleeting moment, but real fear. Her lips even trembled a little. But she was cool and haughty like a goddess. How could she possibly back down? She made no move to soften her stance and walked away with Jake. As they left, Jake gave me a contemptuous smile and even held Isabella's hand tightly, as if declaring his ownership. I found it amusing and let them go. With the main characters gone, the others saw no point in staying and gradually left as well. Only Chloe remained, sitting where she was, her clothes slightly disheveled, her lips full and red from where I had just kissed her. Have you ever thought Isabella isn't right for you? Maybe you could consider me. Give it a try? Her legs were slightly apart, the implication obvious. I grabbed her and threw her out the door. I don't even care about Isabella anymore. You think I'd be interested in you? Chloe stomped her foot in anger but quickly smiled again. Fine, I'd like to see how long you can keep up that tough act. I felt like I had been hanging out with psychos all these years. As soon as Chloe left, another one of Isabella's girlfriends showed up. She was even more direct. Isabella is cheating like that. Are you sure you want to stay faithful? I was speechless and just closed the door. What a bunch of weird girlfriends Isabella had. The place was a mess after the party. I finished eating, cleaned up, finished my work, and then went to sleep. Later that night, I heard the sound of high heels. I knew it was Isabella returning, but I had no desire to go out and see her. This wasn't normal. In the past, I would have rushed out like a slave to apologize, then doted on her, asking if she was tired, hungry, or wanted a hangover soup. But now I was lying in my soft bed, not physically tired, but simply unwilling to move. I slept soundly until morning. When I opened my eyes, I saw Isabella sitting on the chair in the bedroom, looking haggard, as if she had aged 10 years. Why didn't you sleep in bed? I asked, frowning, then got dressed and went to wash up. She followed me and suddenly hugged me tightly from behind. I wasn't with Jake last night. My hand paused as I brushed my teeth. Was Isabella softening her stance towards me? But soon, Isabella shattered my illusion. I'm hosting a get-together tomorrow night. You need to apologize to them. Jake will be there too. My heart, which had just warmed up, turned cold again. So, you think I was wrong last night? Isabella said with dissatisfaction, wasn't it? You kissed Chloe. She cried all night last night. And Jake, he was a guest. What you did was very rude. Chloe cried all night? I felt like laughing. She was trying to seduce me last night. Isabella let go of me, incredulous. Ethan, How can you be so dirty? Now you're even trying to cause trouble between us. I moved my mouth, wanting to say something else. But I swallowed it back. In Isabella's heart, Jake and her girlfriends were always more important than me. If I was wronged, I had to swallow it, but her girlfriends couldn't be. Fine. I told her everything, with a clear conscience. Don't organize the get-together. I won't go, I said. My repeated defiance finally got to Isabella. She couldn't help but burst out, Ethan, don't push your luck. I'm giving you a chance to make amends. What more do you want? She looked as if I was incredibly ungrateful. You keep that chance, I don't need it. Isabella, I want to say that I'm your boyfriend, not a slave. That was all I had to say. Whether she listened or not, from the moment she asked me to apologize, I had completely given up. I finished washing up and got ready to go to the office. But she wouldn't let me leave. Ethan, you don't have to apologize, but you must have dinner with Jake and say sorry to him. Why? I asked Isabella, completely bewildered. He kissed her, hugged her, and flirted with my girlfriend, and in the end, I have to apologize. To him? It was absolutely absurd. Isabella bit her lip tightly, stubbornly saying, because you misunderstood his relationship with me. We are pure and innocent. I laughed out loud. Suddenly, I understood why Isabella was so insistent on me apologizing to Jake. Because if I apologized to Jake, it would mean I had misunderstood their relationship, that I was wrong, and that she, Isabella, would forever be that cool, noble goddess. That I had judged a gentleman with the heart of a villain. It would prove that everything she said, calling my thoughts dirty, vindictive, and petty, was all correct. In the past, I would have fulfilled any of her requests. Apologizing to her girlfriends and Jake wasn't the first time, but now I wouldn't. Isabella, do you think our relationship is truly normal? I sighed, asking wearily. Isabella looked up blankly, looking nervous. What do you mean? Do you think I'm being unreasonable? You've apologized many times before, why not this time? Why? Because I wanted to try and become a normal person. I realized Isabella's twisted way of thinking was deeply ingrained. I stopped talking. What else was there to say? Let it be. I wanted to leave, but Isabella held onto me tightly. She had a strong feeling that if she let go of my hand at this moment, she would never be able to hold on to me again. Isabella backed down a step. You don't have to apologize. Forget about this time. Just don't do it again in the future. I said very seriously, I won't do it again in the future. Isabella misunderstood my answer, her eyes lit up, and her tone returned to being haughty/condescending. Drive me there. I didn't sleep all night, I'm so tired. Arguing with Isabella had already made me almost late. Besides, our workplaces were in opposite directions, north and south. If I dropped her off, I wouldn't be able to get to work on time. I shook my head and suggested, I'm going to be late. You should take a taxi. But I walked away before Isabella could finish speaking. I knew what she wanted to say. She was a noble princess who usually found buses and taxis dirty and insisted on taking a clean private car. I was well aware of this habit and had diligently acted as her chauffeur, available on call. Because the timing was irregular, sometimes I would be at work, and she'd call, and I'd take time off to pick her up or drop her off. If it weren't for my strong work ethic and always making up the time by working overtime, I would have been fired long ago. But I was too tired, so tired I couldn't breathe. I didn't want to do it anymore. At the office, I turned off my phone and threw myself completely into work. Only then did I realize that without overthinking things, work could be completed so easily, and I could leave right on time. Only then did I realize that the world felt so light when I didn't put Isabella before my own life. When I got off work and went home, Isabella wasn't there. It had been like this for the past few days, and I hadn't gone looking for her. I got off work on time every day, ate on time, and slept on time. Because of my regular routine and healthy diet, the dark circles under my eyes had faded considerably. As I was scrolling through my phone, a special alert notification popped up. I opened it, and it was a photo Isabella had sent. It was a picture of her on a beach in a bikini, figure hot, face pure, it was Isabella. Below the picture was Jake's hand, applying sunscreen to Isabella's back. There was no caption, just a photo full of suggestive ambiguity. I also checked Jake's social media. It showed their hands tightly clasped. With the caption, "Look at the person in front of you. Naked and bold." In the past, I would have called Isabella over and over, or even dropped everything and rushed to Jake's face to punch him. But now I just moved my finger and liked both their posts. Was I sad? Of course. The woman I considered my life for so many years was being intimate with someone else. Oh. Of course, it would be uncomfortable. But hadn't it always been like this? I had built up an immunity long ago. I didn't react and continued my usual routine of going to and from the office, feeling fulfilled and happy. My work efficiency was so high that the manager started letting me work on a completely new project with bright prospects. I stayed late working one night, and by the time I left the office, it was already 10 o'clock. I was surprised to see Isabella's car parked right outside the office. To be precise, this car was mine. Because she couldn't stand taking buses or taxis, I had used all my savings from a year of work to buy her this car. But this car rarely came to pick me up. Instead, Jake drove it again and again. The passenger window slowly rolled down, revealing Isabella's pure face. "Get in, I'll give you a ride." The driver's side window also rolled down, and inside, Jake waved at me. "Ethan, Isabella and I came to pick you up." They looked as if they were a couple, just giving a friend a ride. I suddenly felt a bit nauseated and turned to walk back into the office. Isabella got out of the car and grabbed me, saying helplessly, "How long are you going to keep acting like this?" I answered calmly, "I'm not acting up, really. You know how I act when I'm angry, hitting Jake, slapping myself, questioning you with red eyes, even self-harm/cutting oneself, but I'm not doing that now, am I?" My voice was slightly choked up at the end. Even in the hottest summer, I never dared to wear short sleeves because my arms were covered in dense self-harm/cutting oneself marks. I saw Isabella as the most important thing in my life. She wasn't wrong, everything was my fault. All the marks were my punishment to myself. It hurt too much. I was sick, but I didn't want to stay sick anymore. Isabella stood frozen, saying incredulously, "Why aren't you acting up? Why aren't you self-harm/cutting oneself anymore?" It hurt too much. I closed my eyes. Then I turned and walked towards the office. "I still have some work to finish. You and Jake can go back." Isabella didn't say anything else. I had walked quite a distance before I heard her shout behind me, "Ethan, I'm giving you one last chance. If you turn back now, I can pretend everything didn't happen. But if you take one more step forward, I'm really going to a hotel with Jake." They drove away. I worked overtime at the office until dawn, constantly forcing myself to focus on work and drinking coffee, as if that could numb my nerves and keep me from thinking about anything else. After years of being lost in this obsession, how easy could it be to truly forget someone? As the sky grew light, I finally looked up at the morning sun outside the window and suddenly had a strange craving for McDonald's. After I got together with Isabella, I never touched things like that again. She preferred bland food and never ate outside food to maintain her figure. To cater to her habits, I gave up spicy food, sugar, and greasy food, becoming completely like another Isabella, losing myself. Did I not want Isabella to know everything I did for her? Of course I did. I'm not someone with high morals who expects nothing in return. I hoped she would care about me and love me a little more. Unfortunately, she never noticed. She even took everything for granted. I ordered every single item on the McDonald's menu. The office desk was practically overflowing. My colleagues thought I had gone crazy. I tasted every kind until I felt sick and wanted to vomit. But I was still satisfied and happy because I was treating the past self who had lost himself. That night, Isabella really did go to a hotel. Jake sent me photos from multiple angles on my phone. The frosted mirror in the hotel bathroom showed Isabella's hot figure. I only glanced at it before turning off my phone. I had no relationship with Isabella anymore. Whatever she wanted to do was her freedom. Because I ate so much that morning, I didn't go to the cafeteria for lunch and stayed at my cubicle/workstation. As I was about to take a nap, Isabella arrived. She was beautiful and moving, drawing frequent glances from colleagues who hadn't left yet. Isabella walked straight to my cubicle/workstation, carrying an insulated container. Her face was pale, her lip bitten, looking very flustered. Last night, I wasn't with Jake. I nodded. Got it. Isabella didn't look happy. Instead, she looked even more panicked. You don't believe me? I shook my head. I was tired from staying up all night, and my head felt heavy. My tone was slightly impatient. Does it matter whether I believe you or not? The photos were proof. Besides, shouldn't she be the one who knows best about this kind of thing? Isabella started to cry. Why do you always doubt me? I've explained countless times that Jake and I are just friends. The strong urge to sleep wore out my patience. I took out my phone and opened the photos Jake had sent me. I didn't say anything, but Isabella accused me first. Why do you still have his contact information? Oh, right. To prevent me from knowing more about her whereabouts, Isabella didn't allow me to have the contact information of anyone around her. Jake was someone I had secretly added, and he, wanting to show off to me, naturally accepted. Even now, she still didn't reflect on herself. She just accused others first. I deleted Jake in front of her because I didn't need him anymore. Is that enough? Go back. I'm tired. Isabella smiled, satisfied, and placed the insulated container on my desk. Eat it while it's hot. I stopped her. Take it back. I don't need it. I made it myself, Isabella said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear, her tone slightly shy. But I just repeated coldly, take it away. I don't have an appetite. Isabella's eyes widened. For a moment, she was at a loss, just biting her lip tightly. I spent a long time making it. Why won't you eat it? She stubbornly opened the box. Inside. Were only vegetarian dishes/vegetables without any oil. I had no appetite. I even felt like throwing up. Take it away. Isabella went crazy. Ethan, what are you being so high and mighty about? I've already gone this far. What else do you want? So, after going to a hotel with someone else, making me a few vegetarian dishes/vegetables the next day is considered compromising? I wanted to laugh, but I couldn't. Suddenly, I couldn't understand what kind of person I had been loving all these years. I rubbed my tired, sore eyes. Isabella, I'm tired. Please leave. Isabella completely panicked. Her face was bloodless. You shouldn't be like this, Ethan. You should eat the meal obediently in front of me, then show a satisfied smile, praise me for being virtuous and a good wife, praise my cooking, then see me downstairs, buy me a gift as a reward, and then you drive me back to the office, lingering to leave a kiss on my forehead. Her tone was calm and measured, as if she had experienced this countless times. And it was true. Every time she was a little nice to me, I was like a toad favored by a swan, doing countless things for her like a desperate doormat. But I didn't think desperate doormat was the right word, because I truly loved Isabella and was willing to do anything for her. I shook my head and said seriously, I won't do it again. Never again. Why? What went wrong? You loved me so much, why won't you do it for me anymore? I sighed. You know the answer. I used to love you, but now I don't. Isabella looked like she had been drained of her life force, her face frighteningly pale. No, Ethan, you can't do this. You can only love me, you can't abandon me. She cried hysterically, heartbroken, as if she had lost the most precious thing. Colleagues were constantly coming back, and seeing this scene, they all stood watching at the door. I shielded her and escorted her downstairs from the office building. Go back. Don't make a scene here. You care most about your reputation/how she appears. Isabella grabbed me with both hands and feet. Don't leave me, okay? Ethan, you still care about me, don't you? You still love me, don't you? I didn't answer. Instead, I took half a day off and took her home. On the sofa, Isabella was sobbing uncontrollably. I went to the bedroom, ready to pack all my things and leave. Since I had decided to leave, better to end it quickly than draw it out. But Isabella blocked me like she was crazy. You're abandoning me? Don't abandon me. I was wrong, I'm truly sorry. She knelt down in front of me. The noble goddess finally put down her pride. But I felt nothing watching her. I just helped her up. Isabella, we always fight. Do you think this kind of relationship is normal? So let's not torment each other anymore. You're so beautiful, you have countless admirers. You don't need to be so humble. Isabella couldn't hear anything I said, she just stared at me. No. We've been together for 7 years, are you really going to abandon me heartlessly? So what do you want? I'll leave the car and the apartment to you. I'm just taking my own things. I won't take a single penny of anything else. I only carried 1 box, and I meant what I said. But she held onto my hand and wouldn't let go. I don't want anything. I just want you. Ethan, don't leave me. I'll die. I peeled her hands off me and walked away without looking back. Just as I walked out the door, Isabella shouted at me, if you take 1 more step forward, I'll kill myself in front of you. She held a knife to her throat, her eyes fixed with terrifying stubbornness. In that instant, I remembered my past self, how crazy I was back then. It was Isabella who saved me. I put down the box, walked over to her, and likewise picked up a kitchen knife and held it to my own throat. Isabella, do you see? When we're together, we just torment each other. You don't need to threaten me with your life. Don't make me look down on you. ISA. Bella's tears streamed down, but you don't want me anymore. Go ahead and look down on me. I looked at her and made a cut on my wrist with the knife, blood gushed out. Isabella was startled by what I did and threw the kitchen knife away, rushing towards me. I avoided her touch and called 911. While waiting for the ambulance, Isabella tried to come over countless times, but I yelled at her to stay back. Isabella, do you remember? At university, countless times I wanted to jump off the rooftop to end my life, and you saved me. You said you wanted to walk a path with me that few people travel, and I walked it with you. But I don't want to anymore. I'm sorry, I owe you a life, and now I'm paying you back. Isabella cried heartbrokenly. Even after getting into the ambulance, I didn't look at her again. I was very obsessive, a freak. My possessiveness towards Isabella was extreme. It's hard to say who was right or wrong between Isabella and me, we were both crazy, and staying together would only torture each other. But I was tired. I wanted to be a normal person. No longer constantly anxious/insecure, no longer a humble slave. Isabella and I broke up decisively. Isabella didn't give up, occasionally coming to the hospital to take care of me. I called Jake and asked him to take her away. At the same time, Chloe found out about us and often came to the hospital to take care of me. You guys broke up? It should be my turn, right? I didn't know what kind of crazy fit Chloe was having. One time, she was feeding me porridge. I wanted to take the spoon and feed myself, but she suddenly kissed my lips. There was a sound at the door, it was Isabella. She looked at us with a pale face. You guys. Ethan, you're doing this to get back at me and Jake, aren't you? It's okay. I'm willing to let you be with Chloe. It's okay, as long as you don't abandon me. I pushed Chloe aside and didn't explain. It was fine if they misunderstood. For the first time, Isabella didn't stay CL. Inging in the hospital room for a long time. You don't like me, you're just being jealous of Isabella. You want what she wants, I said to Chloe, speaking calmly. She paused, then quickly smiled, you guessed right. But it's not jealousy, it's disgust. That haughty/condescending, self-righteous look of hers is truly sickening. Too bad, you can't even compare to Isabella's little finger. At least she was genuinely sincere towards her friends. Chloe was so angry her chest heaved. After cursing a few times, she left. I forwarded the recording to Jake. Although Jake was a disgusting person, it was undeniable that he genuinely loved Isabella. Isabella received the recording and completely cut ties with those awful friends. During this time, she kept sending me messages, saying she was happy I still remembered her, that I still loved her. I ignored all of them. I didn't touch anything she brought to the hospital to see me, I threw it all in the trash. After I was discharged, I completely moved out of the apartment we shared. I rented a place near my office. The commute that used to take an hour and a half now took me 10 minutes. During this time, Isabella came looking for me countless times, but I avoided her, refusing to meet. If you're going to break up clean. I worked overtime tirelessly. The office project was completed successfully. I got home drunk, ready to crash. But a message arrived on my phone. I wanted to ignore it, but something deep inside compelled me to open it. It was from Isabella, a video. In the video, I was standing at the celebration party, looking triumphant and energetic. Then the camera turned, and the scene shifted to the apartment we shared, which was all too familiar to me. In the video, Isabella was wearing a beautiful white wedding dress, breathtakingly lovely. When she smiled, the entire room seemed to light up. The camera turned again, showing only her upper body. Ethan, you should be done with the celebration party or it's already the next day by the time you see this video. But it doesn't matter, you'll see it eventually. For some reason, I felt that Isabella's face in the video was terrifyingly pale, and her whole body was shaking unnaturally. This wedding dress, do you remember it? When we went to the mall together, you suddenly wanted to take me trying on wedding dresses, and I was so stubborn about not going. This is the one you saw at first glance and said was beautiful. I bought it. She seemed to use a lot of effort to say that, pausing to breathe for several seconds before continuing. Back then, you really wanted to marry me, didn't you? Unfortunately, I failed you. Tears rolled silently from the corners of her eyes, her whole body swaying precariously. I had a premonition that something was about to happen. I desperately wanted to grab her hand, but separated by the screen, I couldn't reach her. I'm sorry, Ethan. I hurt you before. I don't blame you for not wanting me. But, I told you I would die without you, and I wasn't lying. She closed her eyes with effort, then spoke, I love you, Ethan. After saying that, she fell backward. In the video, the clean white, fluffy skirt was stained with blood, like a bright red flower. The video cut off after that. My drunkenness cleared. Like a madman, I scrambled up and rushed to find Isabella. Halfway there, I received a call from Jake. His voice was strained. You got the video, right? That was the last thing Isabella left for you. My mind went blank. I couldn't hear anything. Until a street lamp flickered. I looked up and saw the goddess on the balcony, the breeze lifting the scattered hair beside her ear. Ethan, if you're withdrawn, just be withdrawn. Are you interested in walking a path with me that no one else dares to walk? Unfortunately, on this path, we eventually drifted apart. End of story.